Hey there, and welcome to painting the Kuge Delegate. And this is me, high priority target for the JSA, which could be the Japanese sectorial or secessionist armies, depending on which list you're using. I don't know whether they're actually going to obsolete the sectorial army at any point, but for the meantime, we get to play with whichever we like. As you can see, got our all undercoated, primed, matte black enamel, and first up I'm just going to put a layer of golden brown. It's the heavy opaque, game extra opaque range, because she is going to go into a yellow and orange kimono, and I think I might do it tabby kitty, but we shall see. As ever, this first coat of paint really just do apply another layer of paint, because as you can see there's a rather shiny ear on the kitty there who has not quite got the undercoat into his ear. So I'll get that done and I'll be back in a moment. So we have then the golden brown layer, and I've just added in some white, about 50-50, 1 part golden brown, 1 part white, and given that like a semi-wet dry brush. And then I've added a bit more white again just to give a sort of final highlight. And that will give me my sort of base yellow tone for this layer. So I've just sort of twisted it. I'm in a rush. And that will also give me the tone range for most of the material of the kimono. So next up I'm just going to start blocking things in. I'll block in all of the flash tones, the socks, colours. Because Japanese people wear socks with split toes, by the way. So they wear tabi, which is split toed socks, to go through split toed sandals. And I'll block in all the flash, I'll block in the colours on that, and I'll block in the colours on the kimono, which I think is going to go orange. I'm going to have sort of like light blue details on the ties, but orange details on the robe. So the flowers are going to all go orange, the lining for the neck, the lining that you can see in between the legs, which is like the interior lining of the fabric, it's all going to go orange. So I'm going to start with a dark tone, which would probably be, it's probably going to be like a game opaque red, although I'm going to dig around and see if I can find an orangey, reddy, browny colour to use as the base colour. Though I think it's going to just be, might be heavy sienna. I might even just use heavy brown actually, so that if you look at Japanese traditional colours, they often use a range of quite neutral, similar tonal colours, but different colours, and also they would use colour ranges which we would typically consider to be sort of clashing. So so for instance, I'm going to use yellow, orange, and like a light sky blue, sort of pastel-y blue colour, which in the West we would commonly think of as clashing, but in traditional Japanese colour combinations, they look at nature, and if you look at nature you might get like pink, white, blue, orange, green all together, but they would use natural tonal ranges. So it would be like the kind of green that you would find on a plant leaf, the kind of blue that the colour the sky would be, the kind of pink which is the pink that is the colour of a flower, the kind of white which is the colour of a flower, the kind of yellow that's the colour of a flower. So you get these kind of tones which don't clash in nature, and so when you combine them together in these sort of colours, they can appear a bit gaudy, but they work very well. So I'll be back in a moment with all my base colours put on, well, most of them anyway. Who've got base colours in then, and you can see it's kind of pastel-y, possibly even gaudy. I say base colours, I mean the majority of the colours in, the flash is in, all of the kimono colours in, the belt colours are in, the socks are in. She has got socks, but she also has like a naked leg, so she's committing the arch sin of socks and sandals, I'm afraid. And you can see that currently the belts are pretty bright blue. That's it's a mix of the pale flash, which I use for the flash, which is from the model colour range of Vallejo paints, and bit of magic blue from the game colour range from Vallejo. just to lighten up the magic blue a bit. About I'm going to go 1 part of each, so 1 part magic blue, 1 part pale flesh, and I'm just lighting it up because I really want to take this up to a very pale blue. Where it's brown on her kimono at the moment, you see, it's actually going to end up orange. And I've put the brown on first just because I want a dark tone to go underneath, and I'm going to apply yellow ink wash over all of the brown and the yellow, just partly to blend it, partly to tone it, partly to yellow it up, to introduce a stronger yellow tone, because I will take it back towards this sandier tone afterwards when I get into highlighting and everything. But I do like to darken everything up first. In the hair we have the flower, which is going to go orange with a blue centre, but again very pale sky blue. And again, you might be thinking to yourself, these colours are going to clash like mad, and if you do them in bright variants, then yeah, sure, they will clash like mad, but I'm going to be using these kind of very neutral tones. You might almost call them greys if you think of a chromatic grey in terms of neutralising colours and dragging it off into a certain tonal range. So then at this point I've got a couple of things that left. I'm just going to block in the hair, the briefcase, and I'm going to do something to yon kitty. Now I want it to be a tabby kitty, so I'm probably just going to brush mark some dark stripes on it and then give it a green ink wash, and that will give me my base tones for that. So in the highlighting process I'll then bring out the kind of lighter colours that you see in a cat's face and what have you. So I shall get these bits done and I'll be back in a mo, and I'll be all base coated up and ready to go with the highlighting phases. Catch you in a second. There we have it then, all based up and ready for finishing off highlighting, etc, etc, but that'll be in another video. As ever, apologies if that annoys, irks anybody. Just timing, and I suppose I'm trying to show different ways of making stuff that are hopeful, or painting things, so that everything's painted slightly differently in different ways of painting, and I hope that that's actually of some use to you, and you get to see things that you might have thought about and never experimented with, and hopefully see other ways of doing it. So you can see I've applied the yellow ink wash over the yellow and browns to sort of start blending them together, bring them in line with one another. And the kitty's had a green ink wash and also had some stripes put on its back. So in the highlighting phase I can emphasise the stripes, head them more towards black, and I don't know if you're familiar with cats and know tabbies. Tabbies sort of have the green fur because I believe they are what happens when you mix a domesticated cat with a European wild cat. Because European wild cats are the only cats I'm aware of which are wild cats, which have those sort of green and black markings. I think it's because they roam around in sort of high moorland, grassland areas. I think, I'm not sure though, that the domesticated cats tend to come from the Mediterranean and tend not to be those colour ranges, but I could very well be incorrect. You'd have to go and look it up and correct me. As you can also see the hair's been blacked in, and also I did the yellow ink wash on the brown on the flower on the head. You might be wondering why I didn't use an orange ink wash, and it's just to maintain consistency, so the orange in the flower will match with the oranges in the flowers on the kimono. So I hope this has been of some use and interest to you, and all your miniatures are coming out absolutely spot on. Thank you for watching, have a good one and take care. Bye bye.